There's so many side jobs people can do. I know a lot of business owners who secretly DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever for extra $500 a week.
Yeah.
500 a week is 2,000 a month.
Right.
Or you can play Call of Duty instead all day.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just kind of depends on the person.
Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast, brought to you by A Advanced Services, Fuse Networks, and Warrior Injury Law. So, Joe, for new listeners and viewers kind of tuning in for the first time, how do we start this whole thing?
So it first started out as a Facebook group page. The purpose was to bring businesses together in an online community where they could talk, educate each other, brainstorm, kind of help one another out. Because we're a marketing agency, we get asked a lot of questions outside of just business. So we thought, what a better way than to bring on different guest speakers from all different backgrounds, with all different industries on, and just have them educate our audience on what it's like to be an entrepreneur.
All right. And we've been intentional on trying to get in-studio guests. So our guest today, in-studio live, no AI-generated guest. Please introduce our guest today.
So this is a guy named Moe. I'm going to have him introduce himself. But I met Moe through a BNI, Business Networking International group. He's a chapter that I belong to. He's a younger entrepreneur, and his background is intriguing and very interesting from where he's come to where he's going. So I thought he'd be a good guest to have on to speak to the younger audience.
Awesome. So Moe, please give a intro of yourself to our audience.
Yeah. So I'm Moe Tarriq, also known as Moe, or the tall guy. Come from California, born and raised, Sacramento. And now I moved to a rainforest in Washington. And I live in a forest where it rains like 8 months out of the year. And I'm in the cold, but I'm still here.
Awesome.
Yep.
So tell us about your venture now. So what is it that you do right now?
Yeah, so now I have a shop called Complete Auto Repair in Bremerton. It's about it's a 12 lift shop, so it's pretty big for shop size. Most I think dealers are 8 through 10 at max. So we're at 12. We have 3 heavy duty 15,000 pound lifts, and the rest are all like 10,000. So we do a lot of diesel repair and whatnot. It's a one-stop shop. We're going more towards the 4x4 accessories in the future, towards lifting, bumpers, this and that and whatnot. But ideally, I come from a whole diversity of business backgrounds.
Okay.
My whole family owns businesses. I think all my uncles, all of California's tire shops, gas stations, convenience stores, and San Francisco greater, LA greater, Sacramento greater, all my uncles and cousins.
Okay, so you have definitely an entrepreneurship background.
Correct.
That was kind of ingrained early.
Yep.
So from then, it was intriguing off camera before we started your journey.
Correct.
Talk to us the elevator pitch version of your first business to where you are now. How did that come to be?
Well, I grew up in Dad's convenience store, which is almost like a 7-Eleven style, 12-door walk-in cooler in West Sacramento. And they had a full-size deli, had beer, had wine, a lot of people stealing beer, running outside. So it was a good learning curve for me. It taught me work ethics, which most people don't have these days. So I can work 7 days a week, 10, 15 hours a day, and I'm used to it.
That was normal.
That was normal. You don't get paid. You get paid in Snickers and Butterfingers, and that's it.
Right.
Then after that, so around like 19, 20, I opened up a car dealership with a friend, my best friend, who screwed me and ran away with the money and filed bankruptcy. So I learned a very valuable lesson back then. Then I went into logistics, into dispatch. I did it myself. Then later on, I went into contracted freight, and then now I came here.
So definitely a wild journey.
Correct.
Right. All right. So let's get to know a little bit more about you. We ask a couple questions. Joe, you mind asking the first?
Yeah. What are some early lessons learned as an entrepreneur?
I think the biggest one is invest in yourself. Don't invest in others. I think these days there's a misconception, and I can use a lot of business examples. I have a lot of friends who want to open up restaurants. And they always talk about, they want to open a restaurant, but they need to get this guy who's a special cook. But really, they're just investing in a person, not the business. Then when the guy leaves, the business shuts down. So the biggest thing, it's better if you lose $20,000 than your partner or your friend lost $20,000.
Yeah.
Right.
You can take that hit if you did it. But if your friend did it, it hurts.
Right.
It hurts. So that when I was in the car dealership with a buddy, and then he took the money and they ran away. Nothing I could do. I could go to a judge. I talked to a lawyer. Lawyer said, yeah, you'll win the case, but you never get your money back. He has no income. He already ran away with it.
Right. Filed bankruptcy.
Yeah, filed bankruptcy. Where you're going to get a certificate in the mail saying you won, but that's it.
Yeah.
And he didn't have he was a real estate agent now, so he gets commissions. So you can't even garnish his wages.
Right.
There's no hourly income. So I think that was a very, very eye-opening thing to me, because I thought that, if I can help this guy get rich, it'll help me get rich, kind of a thing.
Right.
Which does work sometimes, but in that situation, I knew he was shady. So I thought he just wouldn't be shady towards me. That was a big mistake.
Right.
So what I learned is, trust people 100%. A liar's a liar, a thief is a thief, Red Bull's Red Bull, and a table's a table.
Right.
If you have that philosophy, you can do good in life.
Right.
Give them 100% trust until they break it.
So knowing that, what is the best piece of advice that you've been given then on your entrepreneurial journey?
Ooh, I would say, don't be the example, learn from the example. Look around, look at your aunties, your uncles, your cousins, what they're driving, what they're doing, other businesses, what they're doing. And do you want to do that and be like that, or do you want to be better? You want to drive the $5,000 car, you want to drive a $100,000 car, and then act like it.
Right.
So I think that's a very valuable. I think about that one all the time.
Yeah.
Because we're a marketing company, why is marketing important?
The days of opening a business and people just coming in are over. Back in the day, our parents' generation, any business you opened up, your community would support. Your neighbors are going to come. Yeah, the people from the other town might come, this and that. Those days are over. You open up a restaurant, you don't advertise, you're not going to go nowhere in life. I think back then they had yellow pages and whatnot, but
we were in the back then.
Oh yeah.
We sold the yellow pages.
Yeah, but now I feel like you have to advertise, you have to market, especially in a social media driven society. If you're not taking advantage of it, you're just behind. You're like 20 years behind now. It's like why Blockbuster got shut down. They didn't want to compete or grow up.
Yeah.
Right.
It was an amazing store. I love Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all did, right? So
it was a great place to go look around, but they didn't want to compete. They didn't want to come to the modern time. So if you're not willing to adapt, it becomes a problem.
Yeah. So let's talk about your shop then. What are some things that you're doing for marketing that maybe other shops aren't doing? And this is important because there may be someone listening who has an auto repair shop and maybe they're doing great, maybe they're not.
Of course.
But what are some ways that you market yourself, both digitally and then just in other
So
other
I do
ways?
digitally. I do Google a lot. I think that's the best ROI is the Google, or second best, I would say. Social media I'm starting to get into. I'm a little lazy on it. I need to get better on it, but I have a plan for that. But when it comes to, I think the best for shops per se, I think the term's guerrilla marketing.
Yep.
Which I call parking lot pimping. I just go to parking lots, I make little flyers, and I pass them out. Hey, amigo, ¿qué pasó? Yeah, I got llantas, diesel mecánico, eliminación, and then I talk to them, and then I always bring maybe 10% back.
Oh, it's a good
It's a
ratio.
it's a good thing. So if I make 1,000 flyers, 6x9 cards, cost me $170. Well, 1 hour of diag is $170.
You just got your ROI.
I got my ROI, and if I bring back 10 people and that's 1,000 flyers, So if I go to Lowe's, I get great business at Lowe's. I go to Lowe's, I pass them out. I go to Home Depot, they get mad at me. I still do it. I go to Walmart, Fred Meyer, the gym parking lots, college. I think about hitting college, but not yet.
Yeah.
But whenever it gets slow, which is I think I did like last year in February, I go to parking lots and I pass them out. I think that's the best. They get to see me, the owner. They get to talk. Yeah, I'll take care of you. Yeah, if I can't fix it, I'll do it for free. But I want you to come to me. And I think that's the best marketing, which we don't see anymore too much.
Yeah.
Used to see it a lot, not anymore.
Right. I mean, yeah, I think it is a kind of a lost art.
Yeah.
Or a lot of businesses, or they would try to hire someone to do it. But
Yeah. What are some other, I don't want to give all your secrets away, but what are some other things that you offer that other auto repair shops don't, that you think that they're missing out on?
I offer free road hazards, which most shops can do. I also offer a chauffeur service. So we pick you up, we drop you off, as long as it's more than an oil change. And then we also do a 30-day price beat guarantee, meaning if you get tires or repair or even an engine from me, and then you had an estimate somewhere else that was cheaper, I would give you a credit towards that for your next time you come in. So if there's a problem is pricing, we have a solution for that. The problem is you coming to the shop, we have a solution for that. So I give them solutions for everything. You need financing, we have solutions for that. But I want you to come to us as your one-stop shop. Even if I have to lose money, it doesn't matter. You're going to come to me for everything. And that's the kind of way I target it. It doesn't matter what you need. You need your windshield replaced, I'll call windshield people for you. But you come to me.
Right.
And that's how I kind of treat it.
So you're adding added value that most shops don't.
Correct. Because, back in the day, I would say if you use like Les Schwab as an example, they had two perks they had, these shops. It was they offered customer service and they offered you financing. Well, 20 years later, what are they doing now? They still have the financing. They still have the customer service. Nothing new has been added in the formula. So I brought in some new things. When I came to Bremerton, I noticed a few issues. I noticed it was very different than California. California, people wait. They're going to wait at your shop. They're not going to leave. They're going to watch you working on the car, and they're going to time rush you. If it's an hour job, they want it done in half an hour.
Yeah.
Right. But then over here, people will drop off their car to you. Very different. The old owner, when I bought the shop, he had vehicles in there for 5 years, 7 years, and 2 years. I never heard about stuff like that.
Right.
I couldn't fathom it.
It's like free storage.
Yeah. Like, how did you leave your car here for 7 years with a shop? I don't get it. But people here, I guess, are very, nonchalant. They're chill. Mm-hmm. They don't care. They understand, it's a slower paced environment. It's not as fast paced. What takes an hour in California takes 2 hours here.
Right.
But part availability sucks and all that. Plus in Bremerton and whatnot, the labor is not there. Versus Seattle, Tacoma, Kent. Over here, you have all the workforce and the labor. You don't have it in Bremerton and Silverdale. You have maybe some crackheads and whatnot, but you don't want to hire those. So it makes it a little tougher. But ideally, that'll be it.
Well, we talked off camera a little bit from where you were at, like in West Sac compared to here, the density of amount of shops.
Yep.
So like you told me that in an area, in your area now, Bremerton, Silverdale, where there may be 20 shops in that same radius, there may be 200 shops.
Correct.
So is that kind of where you got your hustle from? Like
Correct.
Competing,
Yeah.
The sense of urgency. Talk to us about that mentality and how you brought it to your shop here.
So I didn't want to compete with my cousins and my family. I have a bottom level. I don't want to go below that bottom level, and they will. So when I came here to Washington, I noticed there was a lot of potential. And when I got into it,
Before we go any further, this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast is brought to you by Warrior Injury Law.
Injured? Call us at 253-WARRIOR. Warrior Injury Law. Battle tested.
sorry, can you ask the question one more time? I apologize.
We were talking off camera of in West Sac.
Shop comparison. Okay,
Yeah,
I got it.
how there was
Yeah.
the density of that. So you had to compete for your business.
Correct.
But up here there wasn't. But you still noticed an opportunity of,
Yes.
I'm going to bring something new to the
Understood,
table.
yeah. So right now I'm on a main street. There's a Fred Meyer, there's Lowe's, then there's me, and then there's Safeway. Now, if I use that same reference in any San Francisco Main Street or Sacramento Main Street or LA Main Street, if there was only 6 shops on that main street right now, there's at least 30 to 40 to 50 in the other cities. It doesn't make sense. It's way too much. If Sacramento, we use Sacramento, if Sacramento should only have 50 shops in total, it's already at like 500. So everybody's,
So super saturated.
correct.
And everybody's, I would think that everyone's just lowballing the next one.
Correct.
Just to
Everyone
get the
has a
customer.
$25 oil change
Correct.
that they're fighting for.
It's $25 alignment.
Oh, alignment,
$25
okay.
alignment, or free everywhere you go.
Right.
It's like tinting, for example. If you tint a car in California, I just tinted my sister's car. She bought a Mercedes. So for her, when she bought it, I tinted it for her birthday. Front, rear, everything. The same 25-year, great tint you're going to get over here that costs $800. I got it there for $225. But over here, someone's going to pay $800. Same material,
Same
labor,
everything.
Yeah.
but just super markup.
Right. It's because there's a lack of
Yeah.
There's lack of competition, so you could charge what you want to charge.
So even painting, I'll use painting, and I'll use painting. Painting a car, I used to get a really, really good kind of car dealership. I did really good paint jobs, like $1,500. Wrapping your car for $2,000. I talked to the wrap guy the other day, and he wanted $4,800 to wrap my car. I was like, I'll just drive it to California, get it wrapped there, and drive it back.
Yeah, be
Why?
cheaper.
Way cheaper. It's a Prius. It costs me $80 in gas. That's it. They're $80 back, and so it's a that's why I like Bremerton, Silverdale, because it's no point. Everybody wants to go to the big cities, right? But the big cities, then you're competing. Why you want to compete with people? Competing with corporations and franchises is easy, but competing with Joe's Tire, or Billy's Tire, or Migo's Tire is tough.
Right.
He has a family to feed, just maybe a wife and 2 kids. Corporations, they have shareholders or whatever to feed.
Right.
So it's very, very different. So where I'm at, I do have a really good standing and very good foundational blocks that kind of let me set it up. And that's kind of what I'm building towards.
Okay. So we talked off camera about how you went around finding a shop. Can you educate our audience on your process and why you feel like your process is better than just going to like a brokerage?
So I bid on most of the Meinekes, Midas, Les Schwabs, Big O's, and Pep Boys through brokers. And it was always drama. It was environmental F1 won't pass, or the owner doesn't want to let you do an environmental, but then the bank wants you to do it because they're not going to fund you unless you do it.
Unless you check that
So
box.
it's like you have all this drama, right? And then you have every shop that I found online There were so many secret things hidden. You know, I'm a college dropout. I was an accountant, but I'm really good with numbers. So I got some financials from a certain business and they were all fake. I was like, dude, come on, you can't BS me with it. I can tell you this is all a lie. Come on now. And then they don't give you their tax return so you can cross-reference it and none of that. But ideally, I feel like the best businesses I found, and I did this a lot, and I did it for like 2 years. I drove around cities. I walked into random businesses. I messed with their employees a little bit. Hey, how much for this? How much for this? Maybe came back later. Maybe sat outside across other parking lots, see how many cars came in within the hour. Or if it's a Monday or the first of the month, how many cars came in. And then I would go in there and mess with the employee a little bit more. How much for some tires or rims for my truck? See how good their salesmanship was. And then I would try to get the owner. I would never tell them I'm interested in buying. And when I get the owner to come to the front, I'll ask for the owner. Employee would go get them. Probably think I'm complaining, but I'm not.
Yeah.
I'll tell the owner, you know, I really like your business. I really love you guys' work ethics and environment. Do you want to retire? Those were the best ones I found.
Right.
So I found some in Portland. I found some in Texas, Nevada, this, that, and then same thing I found in LK's. It was same. It wasn't on the market. There was no broker. There was no agent. In fact, when you get brokers and agents involved, it gets crazy. Even when I bought LK's, I remember when it came down to the almost a day of signing a week before, I think somebody gave the other party some advice. Hey, you're selling it way too short. You're like $1 million below market. What's wrong with you? But we already shook. We already spoke. Everything was done.
Right.
But now he got this outside idea from somebody who, had some good backing and whatnot. But the number he asked for, I gave him. I didn't argue. Shook his hand. I paid for the meal. I was like, done deal. We're doing it.
Right.
You know, so ideally, I feel like the best in the business are the ones that you have to drive around yourself. Can't rely on nobody else. Sit there for weeks, go there for months. I drove around Olympia, I drove around Paulsbo, I drove around Bremerton, Seattle, Kent, Tacoma, all these areas, multiple days in each city. And then I would make a list of shops I like, and I would go visit those shops every month in a different time. And I kept making my list smaller, 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 smaller.
You'd whittle it down.
Exactly. And then I would be out. I would be in Washington for 2-3 months. I would go back to California for 2 months. So I'd work over here for 3 months. I'd go out to California, and the whole time in California, I would research, look at other shops in other states. Go fly out over here, go look at this.
And do your same kind of thing.
Exactly, exactly. And then come back. So it costed a lot, but I feel like it was worth it because people don't do it anymore, you know? And I think a lot of those businesses, I see those shops that that are on the market, they're still on the market. So it's very interesting. I think the good ones, they never stay. If Discount Tire goes for sale, it's never going to go on the market. You know what I mean? It's gonna be sold before
so quick before it's even listed.
Yeah, and that's how my uncle bought one. It's called America's Tire. It's in Sacramento. Discount Tire, America's Tire, Tire Rack,
same company. Yeah,
just different names wherever you're at. So same thing. Before I went for sale, he went there, talked to them, done deal. They don't go on the market. Whatever's on the market is tough.
Yeah.
You know, we have a car salesman, you know, and I think their property's been on the market for several years. I think they wanted like $4 million, now $3 million. I don't see them getting it, but ideally, it's like it's been on the market for a very long time.
Yeah.
Asking way too much. Especially these small like rural towns. You have elderly folk who think they're sitting on $1 million property that's worth like half.
Right.
And now you got to explain it to them and educate them. Like, oh, this building's not built to code. There's no windows. There's no door. There's no restroom. You know, but that happened a lot.
Yeah.
Found a lot of buildings not to code. And it's all research. Luckily, my dad was a very, very smart guy. I would fly him out here if I liked to shop. And he would give me sometimes one piece of advice that would save me. You know, something I would never think about. Like, oh, you see this drain right here? Oil's going in that drain. Stuff I would never catch.
Right.
I would notice. Oh, you see this? This roof is not up to code. This and that. And then, oh, there's no restroom on this side.
Yeah.
There's no window on this side. Something's wrong.
So he would cover your blind spots almost.
Yeah.
You do the numbers.
Yeah.
So talking to more other young entrepreneurs, people who would want to maybe follow your playbook of buying a business, is there one or two things, if it's a tire shop, auto shop, or whatever shop, something you could tell future entrepreneurs or people in that kind of same situation of...
I would say jump both feet in and don't be afraid to fail. Especially when you're young, you have a very good, you can fail 3 years later, you're in America. You can be fined 3 years, 5 years. You know, you can do bankruptcy, you can do whatever you want. You're protected. But when you're 40, it's different. When you have a wife and kids, it's very different. But when you're like 20, if you hit the floor running and you jump in, whatever, it doesn't matter what it is, just do it both feet in. If you're going to partially do it, there's no point. Nowadays, there's a lot of like fashion trend businesses, you know, people who want to open up businesses, but they don't want to run them. You see it a lot in our community. And it's a problem. Mostly, ideally, for young folk, they just need to stop being scared and go in, fail, learn from it, grow.
Pause 1 sec. Let's give a shout out to one of our sponsors. All right, hold on. I'll do it. Advanced Services. They deal with septic, drain fields, drain cleaning, electrical, and construction. Committed to providing outstanding customer experiences. They ensure top quality services customized to your needs. As a family-owned business, they take pride in delivering reliable and personalized septic solutions you can trust. That's straight from their website. Your trusted septic partner since 2006. Okay, carry on with the episode.
So if you were in that, put yourself back to like your young self, young 19, 20-year-old Moe, you may not have your dad's or the support you have now, and you're an entrepreneur and you wanted to open your own business.
Yeah.
What are there certain businesses that you would tell young people now, like, this is a good idea, without spilling all your secrets? But
I think for young folk these days, especially in America, there's a lot of opportunity. You can Uber on the weekends. You can make a couple $100. I never told people this, but I'll say it right now. I used to secretly Uber Friday, Saturday, Sunday nights in SF. I would go to San Francisco, sleep in my car, Uber from like 8 p.m. to 3 a.m. I'm talking about like 2013, 2012, 2014. Made $300 in a night. That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? After gas, after food and all that. I would get the club scene at night, get the next club scene at night, and Sunday get the church day, then come back. So I made $1,000 or almost in a weekend.
For a weekend.
A weekend. That can cover my living expense right there almost back then when I was that young. Now it doesn't do nothing. You know, but ideally I feel like people have to go to multiple avenues. Now they go to college. They go $100K in debt going to college. And then, you know, that $100K could have been a down payment on a house.
Right.
Or your business. So I think like nowadays you can, there's so many businesses, you know, they can just invest in labor. Labor field pays good, but you got to break your back. But it pays great.
yeah.
But people don't want to do it. And don't do 40 hours, do 80 hours a week. If you don't have obligations, work 2 jobs.
Yeah.
You know, I think if you do a small 5-year grind, it'll pay off in the long run. You know, because like nowadays where I'm at right now, like I'm tired, right? But like the old me would be blessed to see where I'm at now, like how tired. I'm privileged right now to be tired. You know what I mean?
Right.
I fought for this position. So
Yeah, you were working
exactly
12, 15-hour days, 7 days a week.
and not even getting paid. You know, sneakers, I didn't even get lunch, dinner, nothing. No breaks, none of that stuff. You know, it was literally like I went to school, 7:30. I would walk home at 3 p.m. I would get home,
Straight to work.
I would eat, and I would go straight to the shop, run the shop from 4 p.m. to 11 p.m. I never did my homework. I didn't care. I was never going to do homework if I'm working and not getting paid. It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I did that my whole childhood. So from like 11, I was working like 3 to 5 business days a week. By the time I was 16, I was working 5 business days a week. No pay. You know, and still I was playing basketball, playing football, you know, whatever it may be.
Being a
5 days
kid
week.
still, yeah.
But it was tough. But nowadays, people don't want to put the work in. They want to sit at home, play video games, this and that, you know, be on their tablets. It's different. You know, I didn't have a cell phone till like 21.
Right. It seems like a lot of the younger generation may be more like entitled to like, I deserve, like, what do you mean you're not paying for my cell phone bill?
Right.
Like internet's down, like the end of the world's over.
My dad never got me a cell phone, never got me none of that stuff. For my sisters, they all got cell phones, they all got cars, they all got laptops, they all got college paid for, except me.
Are you the only son?
Only son.
Yeah, but I think your dad was probably hard on you to teach you
Correct.
hard work, what it is to be a man and what it is to be
I think it's
successful.
an Asian thing. They just want you to suffer and like that's life.
Yeah.
You work and you provide. That's it.
Yeah.
Right.
His philosophy is no matter what, you're going to provide.
Right.
And I took that philosophy. You know, I provide. You know?
Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you get acknowledged for it or not. I think nowadays people want to clap on their back and this and that.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. You know, you got to grind. You got to work hard. There's so many side jobs people can do. You know, I know a lot of business owners who secretly DoorDash, Uber Eats, whatever for extra $500 a week.
Yeah.
$500 a week is $2,000 a month.
Right.
You know, or you can play Call of Duty instead all day.
Yeah.
Right.
So it just kind of depends on the person.
Marketing matters. Growth matters more. This episode is powered by our sponsor, Fuse Networks.
Millions of cybercriminals are out there on a daily basis trying to steal your information. It's not a matter of if, it's when. Small businesses account for 58% of cyber attacks annually. So help your company fight cybercrime and mitigate risk by being proactive. Call Fuse Networks, your local Seattle IT experts at 206-701-6040 for a complimentary IT network and security assessment.
Can we talk about employees then?
Yeah.
So you brought it up because you said being in the trucking industry, moving into the auto repair industry, and you said it's harder to find employees up in where your business is at. What was your strategy in finding good technicians?
You know, the best ones I found, I'm sad to say I probably stole them, or it was word of mouth. The online stuff in Bremerton, when I did it, I got like tweakers and crackheads. That's it. You know, it was crazy. And then I got guys from other shops who would come by, Bucky's, this and that. Had the guys come by and they're like, oh, you know, I want to get paid this much. Okay, no problem. Bring me your last pay stub. Like, I'm making this much right now. Okay, bring me your last pay stub. They never show up.
Yeah.
They all claim they're making 35, 32, 30. They're making like 20, 22 somewhere else, you know. And versus like Seattle, Tacoma, Kent, there's a larger workforce, but over there's not. So I feel like ideally I went to like Napa, AutoZone, this, that, looked at people, looked at their commercial sales managers, went to the dealerships, and then I would just deal them. Walk in there. Hey,
I mean, that's normal in the workforce.
very normal.
So,
And how do you? What's your tactic to retain them, for someone not to poach them back from you?
Well, I think I pay more most shops currently. I believe if I look at the rates, I do pay more than most shops. You know, I have some guys make 40, 35, 32, 30, 25, 24, stuff like that type of rates. Shops don't usually pay that much. If you're ASC, you're 25. Or ASC, I mean, you know.
So you're taking care of your employees then.
Correct. So I'm trying to get master diesel techs, master, Ford techs, and normal. I'm trying to have categorized because I want to go into more like government stuff in the future. So I need that.
Government/fleet stuff.
Correct.
Of stuff,
And they want 2 years in business, so I'll hit that next year in August. And then
then you could apply for those contracts.
Yeah, and I'll have them all ready.
Yeah.
Would it help too, being like a minority business owner to?
I believe
does
so.
that play a little bit for like government
I don't
stuff?
think so anymore.
Okay.
Because it's tough. Like it is very tough. When you're a minority, it's tough. I'll give you an example. Like there's a big problem in shops, right? Let's say like a new city, or let's say Joesville, Valor Marketingville opened up.
Okay.
Right, and it's a 5 square mile city they open up. Well, what happens when the city gets made? Big corporations, get to pick where they want to be. Oh, I want to be right here next to this mall or next to this Walmart or whatever. Then the mayor comes, they mess up the zoning on purpose. Why? So a guy like me and you can't compete with them. So we can't open up our big shop.
So the big bucks have an advantage.
Yes. And then what they do is after 10, 20 years, big box sells their real estate anyways for millions of dollars that they made. And it sucks because guys like me and you can't do it. I'm hoping in the future I can.
Right.
When the new city comes, no, I don't want a Les Schwab there or a discount. I want me in that new city.
Right.
In the Walmart parking lots. It's better. And I think they do have a controlled market with it, but I feel like it's finally starting to change because now I'm currently seeing a lot of the franchises dying. I see Pep Boys, it's leaving Washington.
yeah.
Right.
I see Midas Meineke is slowly leaving. That Schwab is still doing it, but
And you see that as opportunity.
I see a very good opportunity. Yeah. But it's probably like this in a lot of industries. It's probably a lot of franchises that are shutting down. So what can you do better? Kind of a thing. Franchises take 10%, 12%. 13%.
Off the top.
Off the top.
gross.
And then you're in usually a 2-year, 3-year agreement with them.
Yeah. Or longer.
Right, and they're getting their royalties no matter what. So
They're getting theirs before you get yours. It's starting out, right? So
Yeah. So it's tough. But I feel like I said, there's a lot of opportunity here. You just have to take it and not be afraid.
yeah.
People are just too staggered currently in their current mindsets and environments. Just go out there and do it. What's going to happen? It might cost you 3 years.
Yeah.
Right.
You can come back. It's credit. Let them hit it.
Yeah.
You'll be fine in 7 years.
Yeah.
yeah.
What's some big goals you have for your shops? Or just you as an entrepreneur?
Me, I want to get to a level of financial freedom. I think that's the biggest thing. I want to have generational wealth. I'm not banking on like a 401k or anything like that. I'm banking on I want to purchase more real estate, houses, commercial properties. I like the idea of purchasing the commercial property, run the business 5 years, either send it to put it to a manager, or just sell the business, keep the land,
Right.
open another. Do that every 5-10 years. Relocate, move, and then
Build
once you
up,
have a
build up,
couple,
build
and then
up.
there you go, and then keep the land. Never sell the land.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
selling land is the biggest mistake people do currently out of desperateness. I get it, you got to sell the land to get something, but just keep it. We're in a current time with so much inflation. They're only gonna keep printing more.
Yeah.
That $500,000 house will be $1 million one day.
Yeah.
It's like my dad. He bought homes for like 80 grand, 60 grand, 50 grand. They're all worth $500,000.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think I'm gonna get that lucky. I hope so.
Yeah.
I would love to, but I don't think that generation, this is gonna happen to our generation.
Maybe
But,
if you move to like the Midwest,
Somewhere
North Carolina,
Yeah.
South Carolina,
red state or something.
State.
Yeah.
Democratic state, you can't grow too much with real estate anymore. I'll talk to you about that later.
So for our audience listening, how do people get in contact with you?
You can email me at completeautorE@gmail.com. And ideally, that's it for now. I used to do consulting for logistics and whatnot. I kind of got out of that now. I'm more focused over here. I have a vision for this shop, so I have like quarterly goals, and once they're met, I'm gonna go on to my new opportunity, kind of a thing.
Okay.
But ideally, yeah, just email.
Okay.
Nice. And I don't think we mentioned it yet, but if people wanted to stop by and visit you, where are you located?
5921 State Highway 303, Bremerton, Washington,
Awesome.
98311.
Any last piece of advice for new entrepreneurs?
Don't listen to your friends and peers. Trust your gut and just do it. But too many times people will always, if I listen to my family, they scared me 1,000 times. They told me, don't do it, don't do it,
Yeah.
don't do it. If I did that, I would never be here. I would never be able to buy my own clothes or anything. You know?
Right.
So I think just do it. Don't be afraid of making mistakes, and then just grow.
Love it.
Get you a wife. Don't have a girlfriend.
All right.
My best employees are the ones with wives. The ones with girlfriends, baby moms, they never keep their jobs. Just food for thought. But yeah.
Nice. There may be some foreshadowing there, but I won't go into that. So on behalf of our sponsors, Mo, thank you for joining us.
Appreciate
But our
you having me.
sponsors, A Advanced Services, Warrior Injury Law, Fuse Networks. I'm Galen.
Joe.
Coming at you from the Creative Block Studios in Seattle, Washington. Again, Mo, thanks for coming over and spending some time with us on our podcast. Great episode. Thanks for tuning in and watching this episode of the Ask Valor Masterminds podcast. Thanks, everyone.